Streetlights shimmer on the wet pavement, midnight smoke hanging in the air. You pull your oversized sweater tighter while cold wind moves through your hair. The city sounds feel distant somehow, like we slipped outside of time. Your fingers brush against my knuckles, sending sparks beneath my skin tonight. We don't talk much when we're together. Silence feels softer than words, and every glance across the darkness feels louder than anything heard. There's something dangerous in the quiet, something electric in your eyes, like we both know this moment's temporary, but neither of us wants goodbye. So come a little closer slowly, let the winter pull us near. Your cold hands wrapped inside mine make the whole world disappear. We don't need perfect conversations or promises carved in stone, just your heartbeat in the darkness, making loneliness feel gone. Old cassette playing through the speakers, low bass vibrating through the room. Blue light dancing across the ceiling, like stars trapped inside the gloom. You smell like rain and faded perfume, like memories I haven't lived yet. And every second feels cinematic, like something I'll never forget. Outside the clouds keep rolling over, but in here everything stays still, like maybe two broken people can somehow heal each other a little. So come a little closer slowly, let the winter pull us near. Your cold hands wrapped inside mine make the whole world disappear. We don't need perfect conversations or promises carved in stone, just your heartbeat in the darkness, making loneliness feel gone. Maybe we were both just searching for warmth inside another soul, trying to outrun empty feelings, trying to feel a little whole. And even if this fades tomorrow, even if morning changes things, tonight your quiet presence feels more real than anything. So stay a little longer with me, while the city sleeps outside, while the moonlight paints silver shadows across your tired eyes. And if the morning steals this feeling, if reality comes too soon, I'll still remember how your sweater smelled like smoke in midnight bloom. Because some nights stay inside you long after they disappear. And this cold December moment feels like something worth keeping near. Neon lights fade through the window, soft rain falling past the glass, and somewhere in the freezing silence we we finally exhale at last. Your picture still hanging in the hallway, like time forgot to move ahead. Every morning starts the same way, coffee cold beside the bed. Friends all say that I look better, like surviving means I've healed. But they don't hear the silence echo in every empty space I feel. You moved on into brighter places, laughing somewhere I can't reach, while I'm stuck rewriting conversations with words I'll never get to speak. Funny how two people leave a heartbreak, walking out with different scars. One keeps learning how to let go, one keeps counting shattered parts. You took the lighter side of leaving, I got the weight that stayed behind. You found peace in new beginnings, while I'm still losing sleep at night. How can one heart keep on beating when the other half is gone? I'm standing in the middle, breaking, trying to remember how to move on. I still drive by all our old places, like somehow you'll reappear. Same red lights and crowded sidewalks, but nothing feels alive here. Your favorite song came on this morning, I almost reached to call your phone. Then reality hit like cold rain, reminding me I'm here alone. Everybody says that time heals slowly, but time just taught me how to hide, how to smile through all the damage, while everything collapses inside. You took the lighter side of leaving, I got the weight that stayed behind. You found peace in new beginnings, while I'm still losing sleep at night. How can one heart keep on beating when the other half is gone? I'm standing in the middle, breaking, trying to remember how to move on. Maybe love was never balanced, maybe someone always falls. One walks out into the sunlight, one keeps staring at the walls. And I hate how much I miss you, even after all this time. Like every part of me still waits for what I know I'll never find. You took the easier road to healing, I got the echoes of your name. You learned how to stop remembering, I still carry all the blame. How can one soul feel this empty when the world keeps spinning fast? I'm caught somewhere between forever and the shadow of our past. But maybe someday all this heartbreak won't feel so sharp beneath my skin. Maybe someday I'll stop searching for pieces of us again. Streetlights fading through the window, another sleepless night begins. city glows beyond the curtains, but this room feels colder now. Your side of the bed stays empty, and I still don't know how to fall asleep without your heartbeat, without your fingers tracing mine. Funny how a single absence can undo a whole life. I keep replaying old conversations, searching for where we lost our way, but memories only grow louder when somebody walks away. And every lonely hour reminds me how deep we love can leave its mark, because even in crowded places I still reach for you in the dark. So hold me through the night again, even if it's only in my dreams. Let me feel your warmth beside me, like nothing changed between us. I know forever slipped away now, I know time keeps moving on, but part of me still breaks in silence every time the morning comes. Your sweater still hangs in the hallway, like you're coming back someday. And I hate myself for hoping when I know you won't stay. Friends say healing comes with distance, but distance only sharpens pain, because losing someone slowly feels like standing in the rain. Still I carry all the little moments, your laugh, your voice, the way you smiled, and every piece I try forgetting only stays a little while longer inside. So hold me through the night again, even if it's only in my dreams. Let me feel your warmth beside me, like nothing changed between us. I know forever slipped away now, I know time keeps moving on, but part of me still breaks in silence every time the morning comes. Maybe love doesn't disappear just because two people part. Maybe some connections stay alive, hidden underneath the scars. And maybe one day I'll stop waiting, stop hearing echoes of your name. But tonight the emptiness feels heavier than all the words we never said. So hold me through the night one last time, before the memory starts to fade, before this aching heart finally learns how to survive the space you made. And it's somewhere you still think of me when the city lights burn low. I hope you know a part of my soul still refuses to let go. Because loving you changed something in me, something time can't take away. And even after all this silence, your shadow still remains. Morning light spills softly through the window, dust floating in pale gold. And once again I wake up reaching for someone I can no longer hold. The walls feel closer every evening, like the room is slowly caving in. I keep trying to stay collected, but I'm so tired of pretending again. Everybody thinks I'm stronger than I actually feel inside, because I learned how to wear composure like armor I could hide behind. But lately even breathing feels heavier, like carrying stones inside my chest. And all the noise inside my head won't let my restless heart rest. I don't need perfect answers, I don't need somebody to fix me. I just need someone beside me when the ground beneath gets shaky. So hold me while I'm shaking, while my world comes undone tonight, when my thoughts turn into chaos and I can't tell wrong from right. I know I look steady from a distance, but I'm barely standing now. So don't let go when I start breaking, just stay nights I feel so small, like I disappeared inside my fears. Every memory grows louder when the silence finally appears. I keep replaying old mistakes like they define the life I've lived, and sometimes I become my own worst enemy, unable to forgive. But you sit beside me quietly without trying to force the pain away, and somehow your simple presence makes it easier to stay. So hold me while I'm shaking, while my world comes undone tonight, when my thoughts turn into chaos and I can't tell wrong from right. I know I look steady from a distance, but I'm barely standing now, so don't let go when I start breaking. Just stay somehow. Maybe strength is not pretending. Maybe courage means being seen, not polished, fearless, or perfect, just painfully human underneath. And maybe healing doesn't happen in one dramatic burst of light. Maybe it begins the moment someone stays through the hardest nights. So hold me while I'm shaking, when the fear crawls through my veins, when I feel too lost to find myself, and too exhausted to explain. Even if I fall apart completely, even if the darkness crowds my mind, your steady hands remind me softly I'm not alone this time. And maybe someday I'll look backward at these nights I barely survived, and realize the reason I kept breathing was because somebody stayed beside me alive. Morning light spills through the curtains, soft gold across the floor, and for a moment my heartbeat doesn't feel at war anymore. You walked in carrying old heartbreak, like luggage too heavy to put down. Eyes tired from fighting battles nobody else ever found out about. You keep saying you're fine when you're falling, like weakness is something to hide. But I can hear exhaustion in your silence, even when you smile through the night. And maybe I can't fix your history, can't erase every scar you wear, but if you let somebody stay this time, I swear I'll meet you there. You don't always have to be the strong one, you don't always have to carry pain alone. Sometimes healing starts the moment you finally let somebody close. So let me hold the weight with you tonight, when your world feels too heavy to survive, when your thoughts turn dark and restless, and you're barely getting by. I'll stay when the room grows quiet, when everybody else disappears, because loving someone honestly means staying through the hardest years. Late night drives through empty streets, your head resting softly by the window, the city lights reflecting in your tears, like things you never let show. You told me trust feels dangerous, like giving someone power to leave, but lonely hearts become exhausted trying to survive. stay more. So let me hold the weight with you tonight. When your world feels too heavy to survive, when your thoughts turn dark and restless, and you're barely getting by, I'll stay when the room grows quiet, when everybody else disappears. Because loving someone honestly means staying through the hardest years. Maybe love isn't dramatic speeches or promises carved into stone. Maybe it's sitting beside somebody until they don't feel alone. And maybe broken people heal slowly, one small moment at a time, learning not every person who loves them will eventually say goodbye. So let me hold the weight with you forever, or at least as long as we can try. Through every fear and sleepless morning, through every low and every high. And even if the world gets colder, even if life tears us apart, you'll always have a place beside me, somewhere safe inside my heart. Because people don't always need saving, sometimes they just need somebody near to remind them through all the darkness that their existence matters here. Morning light spills through the windshield, quiet gold across your face, and for the first time in a long while, you finally look safe. You show up looking like a movie, walking in like you still own the room. Everybody turns to watch you, laughing like you know exactly what you do. You say my name a little softer, leaning close just to pull away, playing games with mixed up signals, like you love keeping me awake. And every time I start moving forward, you somehow pull me back again, with late night texting, careless flirting, like we never really reached the end. You don't want my heart forever, you don't wanna make things right, you just hate the thought of somebody else finally treating me right. You just want my attention, want me looking your way tonight, want to know I still remember every little thing you like. But you don't wanna love me honestly, don't wanna stay when things get real. You just want the satisfaction of knowing I still feel. I saw your picture with somebody new, still somehow calling me at 2 a.m., talking like you miss our old connection, while holding on to someone else instead. And maybe I was blind before this, maybe I confused chaos with love, 'cause every time I needed clarity, you disappeared when things got tough. Now I'm finally seeing through it, the pattern underneath your charm. You only reach when you feel lonely, satisfaction of knowing I still feel. Maybe it feeds your ego, knowing I still hesitate, knowing part of me still pauses every time I hear your name. But I'm tired of being somebody you keep pulling in and out, like my emotions are temporary whenever your world falls down. So keep your half-hearted apologies, keep your midnight sympathy. I deserve someone who chooses me fully, not only when it's convenient to see. Because love shouldn't feel like guessing or chasing after fading signs. And I'm finally learning slowly, peace is worth more than your mind games tonight. You can keep searching for attention, but I won't keep losing myself, trying to prove I'm worth loving to somebody unsure of what they felt. City lights blur past the window, your name fades into the dark, and for the first time in forever, I finally protect my heart. I saw the distance in your eyes long before you said a word. The way your hand stopped reaching for me told me everything I feared. We used to stay awake till sunrise, talking like the world was ours. Now every conversation feels fragile, like glass breaking in the dark. And maybe I should feel surprised, maybe I should beg you to stay. But heartbreak has become familiar, I know exactly how this plays. Every time I let somebody close, they slowly drift away from me. So now I build my walls much faster before they get the chance to leave. I'm getting used to walking out first before the damage cuts too deep, learning how to hide my feelings before they swallow me. Because loving someone fully always leaves a scar somehow, and every goodbye gets easier the more you let me down. You say I've changed, become colder, like I'm hard and out of reach. But you don't know how many pieces I've lost trying to keep peace. There's only so much pain a heart can carry before it learns to shut things down. So now I keep one foot beside the exit every time love comes around. I hate the way I still want closeness, even while I push it away. Like part of me still hopes somebody will finally choose to stay. I'm getting used to walking out first before the damage cuts too deep, learning how to hide my feelings before they swallow me. Because loving someone fully always leaves a scar somehow, and every goodbye gets easier the more you let me down. Maybe I became defensive, maybe pain changed who I am, but nobody talks about the way repeated heartbreak hardens hands. I still remember who I was before, open-hearted, reckless, free. Before I learned that giving everything could leave nothing left of me. So now I leave before me stronger, even while it broke me down. Brain light fading past the window, your footsteps disappear outside, and once again I'm left alone with the echo of goodbye. I spent years speaking in whispers, afraid my truth would be too loud, learning how to stay invisible in the middle of the crowd. Every dream I tried to carry got buried underneath my fear, because the world can feel unforgiving when nobody wants to hear. So I smile through all the silence, play the role they gave to me, but deep inside my chest a louder voice kept fighting to breathe. And maybe I've been hiding too long, waiting for permission to exist, but silence never changed a thing, and fear was never worth it. So let my voice be heard tonight, even if my hands still shake, even if the truth comes broken, even if my whole heart breaks. I'm done pretending I'm okay, done shrinking just to fit their eyes. 'Cause every soul deserves a moment to finally speak their life. There are people carrying heavy stories behind carefully guarded smiles, walking through the world unnoticed, hiding pain all the while. And maybe if we spoke more honestly, if we stopped pretending to be strong, we would realize how many others have felt this lost all along. I don't want another perfect image, another polished empty lie. I want voices raw and human, unashamed to testify. So let my voice be heard tonight, even if my hands still shake, even if the truth comes broken, even if my whole heart breaks. I'm done pretending I'm okay, done shrinking just to fit their eyes. 'Cause every soul deserves a moment to finally speak their life. Maybe words can heal the lonely, maybe honesty can save, maybe one confession spoken aloud can help another person stay. And if my story sounds imperfect, if my scars still clearly show, at least they prove I kept surviving through everything I had to know. So let my voice be heard tonight, louder than the fear inside, louder than the years of silence, louder than the shame I hide. I won't apologize for feeling, for every tear I couldn't hide, because surviving all this darkness means I earned the right to rise. And somewhere out there, someone listening might finally feel less alone, just because another broken heart dared to let itself be known. Morning light spills through the window, soft gold warming tired eyes. And for the first time in forever, I don't regret my voice tonight. Bills piled high upon the counter, late rent notices by the door. You're laughing while the power flickers, like somehow we've survived before. Your shoes are worn from endless working. My hands ache from overtime. Still we find ourselves at midnight, sharing cheap red wine. The world keeps asking for perfection, while we're barely staying afloat. But every time I hear you laughing, it reminds me why I hold on. Maybe we don't have much right now, no fancy dreams or polished lives, but in this tiny apartment, something honest still survives. So let's dance like we used to, in the middle of the kitchen floor. Turn the music up a little louder. Forget what we are fighting for. For one small night, let's stop pretending that we've got everything figured out. We were happier with less between us, before the world filled us with doubt. Friends moved on to bigger cities, new careers and brighter names, while we stayed chasing small paychecks, trying hard not to break. Sometimes I see the worry in your eyes when another bill arrives, but then you reach across the silence and suddenly I feel alive. Maybe growing older means learning life won't always go as planned, but I would still choose this chaos if it means I get your hand. So let's dance like we used to, in the middle of the kitchen floor. Turn the music up a little louder. Forget what we are fighting for. For one small night, let's stop pretending that we've got everything figured out. We were happier with less between us, before the world filled us with doubt. Maybe success is in a number, or a house up on a hill. Maybe love is waking up exhausted and choosing each other still. Through the unpaid debts and heartbreak, through the nights we almost cracked, we keep finding little reasons to keep pulling each other back. So let's dance like we used to, while the city sleeps outside, while tomorrow waits impatiently for another endless fight. Because one day we'll look back laughing at the mess we barely survived, and realize the best moments were the ones when we felt alive. Not rich enough for golden futures, not perfect enough for the world, but rich enough to keep on loving in this tiny broken world. Morning light creeps through the curtains, coffee brewing soft and slow, and somehow with you beside me I already have enough. You wear confidence like leather jackets, cold eyes hidden underneath the smoke. Everybody thinks you're fearless, but I can tell where the damage broke. Late night calls when you get lonely, then disappearing with without a sound. You pull me close just long enough before your walls come crashing down. I learned your silence has a language, one built from old unfinished pain. And every time I try to hold you, you slip like water through my veins. Maybe we were both just searching for someone to rewrite the past. But broken patterns don't disappear just because two hearts collapse fast. You love like a loaded gun, dangerous and beautiful. Pull me close, then push away like affection feels impossible. And I keep trying to save us, even while we slowly burn, because damaged hearts still crave love. Even when they're scared it'll hurt. Your apartment smells like old cologne, half-empty bottles on the sink, blue neon lights across the ceiling while neither of us wants to think. You joke about abandonment softly, like turning pain into something cool, but I see the younger version of you still bleeding underneath the attitude. And maybe I should walk away now before this turns into another scar. But there's something tragic in your sadness that keeps pulling at my heart. You love like a loaded gun, dangerous and beautiful. Pull me close, then push away like affection feels impossible. And I keep trying to save us, even while we slowly burn, because damaged hearts still crave love. Even when they're scared it'll hurt. Maybe we mistake intensity for healing. Maybe chaos feels too familiar when softness was never something either of us learned to trust earlier. And I wish I could untangle every fear beneath your skin, but some battle started long before me, and I can't erase where you've been. Still you love like a loaded gun, wild hand shaking in the dark, trying to protect your fragile soul while accidentally breaking hearts. And maybe someday you'll discover love doesn't always disappear. Maybe someone can stay beside you without confirming all your fears. But tonight we're just two shadows dancing slowly through the wreckage, trying to turn our loneliness into something that resembles affection. Rain slides softly down the windows, city glowing cold below, and somewhere underneath the silence, two broken people still hold on. They told you dreams were only stories for the lucky ones born ahead. Said the world keeps turning faster and leaves behind the weak instead. But every scar across your body, every sleepless night you fought, built a strength inside your heartbeat that nobody else was taught. You kept running through the pressure even when the road turned black, because deep inside you knew there was no turning back. Every failure carved a lesson, every setback made you stronger. You were never built to fade away, you were built to last longer. You were made of fire, made to rise above the fear. Even when the sky keeps falling, you keep standing here. You can break the silence, you can outrun every doubt. The world may try to stop you, but your soul won't burn out. One day they'll remember every battle that you because you kept your faith. Long nights chasing something bigger, empty pockets, restless dreams, watching everybody else move forward while you questioned everything. Still you carried all your burdens without letting hope collapse, because somewhere in your spirit there was light beneath the cracks. Now the voices that once doubted sound quieter than before, and the fear that used to own you doesn't shake you anymore. You were made of fire, made to rise above the fear. Even when the sky keeps falling, you keep standing here. You can break the silence, you can outrun every doubt. The world may try to stop you, but your soul won't burn out. One day they'll remember, every battle that you face. Not because you never stumbled, but because you kept your faith. Maybe greatness isn't glory, maybe it's surviving pain. Maybe courage means continuing when nothing feels the same. And every person standing broken needs to hear these words tonight. You were stronger than your darkest hour. You were born to fight. You were made of fire, made to carry all your scars, made to keep believing even when life gets hard. You can change your story, you can rise beyond the past. Everyone becomes a reason to keep pushing back. One day when you look behind you at the road that you survived, you will see the strongest version of yourself finally alive. Not because the world was easy, not because you never fell, but because you kept on rising every time life dragged you through hell. Morning sunlight through the darkness, new beginnings in your eyes, and the person staring in the mirror finally realizes why. Another late night riding through the city. Street lights flicker like a broken dream. Everybody chasing bigger numbers, trying to become somebody on a screen. Bills stack high beside the television, people trading time for shiny things. But somewhere underneath the noise and pressure, I forgot what freedom really means. I was running circles for approval, trying hard to keep up with the race, till I looked around one quiet evening and barely recognized my face. Maybe we were never born to spend our whole lives chasing shadows. Maybe there's a different kind of rich nobody talks about anymore. So tonight I'm letting go of all the pressure, all the things they told me I should be. I don't need a skyline made of diamonds to finally feel alive and free. Maybe love is worth more than money, maybe peace is worth more than fame, and maybe all the things we keep pursuing can never fill the empty space. I saw a man singing on the subway, like the whole world fit inside his song. No expensive suit, a perfect future, still somehow he carried hope along. And I thought about the years I wasted trying to impress people I don't know, while the moments that actually mattered were the ones moving way too slow, like laughing in a tiny apartment, driving nowhere after dark, watching summer storms roll through the distance with someone We spend our youth chasing illusions, thinking happiness waits ahead. But sometimes everything we're searching for already lives inside our chest. And every scar, every failure, every road that led nowhere still taught us how to keep believing, even when life felt unfair. So tonight I'm choosing something different, choosing moments over shiny things, choosing honest conversations over all the noise success can bring. I don't need to own the whole world, just a life that actually feels true. A few real hearts beside me and skies I can still see through. Maybe someday when I'm older, looking back on all these years, I won't remember what I purchased, only who I held near. City lights fade into morning, cars move slowly down below, and for the first time in forever I finally feel at home.
Blue cherry soda on the dashboard light, your leather boots tapping to the midnight, Hollywood signs glowing through the haze. We were young enough to waste our days. Cheap motel curtains and a silver ring, old cassette radio softly trembling. You played old records while the city slept, and laughed at all the promises we kept. Your fingertips smell like smoke and rain, sweet little chaos running through my veins. Every slow kiss tasted dangerous, like loving you was never meant for us. And I don't care if the world burns down, as long as you still come around. Pull me close under neon skies and make forever out of one night. We were dancing through the static, through the glow of boulevard lights, a shadow moving like a movie across my restless heart tonight. Nothing gold was built to last forever, still we held on like runaway stars, driving nowhere through California with all our beautiful scars. Velvet lipstick stains on coffee cups, tiny heartbreaks slowly catching up. You said my name like a fading song, soft enough to make me come undone. Summer heat sleeping on your skin, cigarette ash falling in the wind. We built a world from broken dreams and called it love in between the scenes. I still remember that motel pool, your crooked grin making me a fool. Every lonely thing inside my chest finally learned what it meant to rest. We were dancing through the static, through the glow of boulevard lights, your shadow moving like a movie across my restless heart tonight. Nothing gold was built to last forever, still we held on like runaway stars, driving nowhere through California with all our beautiful scars. Maybe we were too cinematic, too much longing, too dramatic, but your voice still lives inside my head like a prayer I never said. And even now when the city sleeps, I hear your heartbeat underneath the silence of these empty rooms, still carrying traces of your perfume. We were dancing through the static while the whole world passed us by, young enough to call it magic, old enough to know goodbye. If love was only temporary, why does it still leave marks this deep? Every neon light reminds me of the promises we couldn't keep. Still I see you in the rear view like a dream fading into dark. One last slow song on the highway, one last fire inside my heart. Streetlights flicker in the distance, radio humming soft and low. Your name drifts through the open windows like somewhere I can't let go.
Pink motel signs flicker in the heat, barefoot dancing on the empty street. Your denim jacket hanging from my shoulders. Summer nights made us feel much older. Cherry lipstick melting in the sun. We kept driving long after midnight was gone. Windows down, radio turned low, trying not to think about tomorrow. Your hands resting lightly on the wheel, like every broken thing could somehow heal. But deep inside I felt the ending near, hidden underneath the atmosphere. The ocean breeze was bittersweet, like goodbye wrapped in golden dreams. And every laugh we gave away felt like something bound to fade. We were burning like California fire, while hearts glowing in the dark, holding on to temporary moments, like they never fall apart. Palm trees swaying through the sadness, neon tears under summer skies. You kissed me like forever lasted, even while we said goodbye. White smoke circles floating through the blue, every little thing reminded me of you. Cheap champagne beside the swimming pool, trying hard to play it cool. The city lights reflected in your eyes like broken stars scattered through the night. You told me nothing beautiful can stay, still I beg the moon to make you stay. Long drives under fading boulevard signs, tracing old scars with trembling hands of mine. Every second felt too good, too fast, like we already knew it wouldn't last. We were burning like California fire, wild hearts glowing in the dark, holding on to temporary moments, like they never fall apart. Palm trees swaying through the sadness, neon tears under summer skies. You kissed me like forever lasted, even while we said goodbye. Now the air feels colder in this town, even with the sun still pouring down. Your ghost moves softly through my room like perfume fading in the afternoon. And every song we used to play still sounds like love slipping away. Maybe some hearts were made to break just to know what beauty tastes like. We were burning like abandoned headlights on an endless coastal road. Two lost souls chasing forever with nowhere left to go. Palm trees crying in the distance, while the waves erased our names. Summer love turned into silence, but my heart stayed just the same. Even now I hear your laughter floating underneath the night, like a dream I can't escape from, like the last glimpse of fading light. Soft wind moving through the curtains, one last cigarette burns slow. Your shadow lingers in the moonlight, like somewhere I still wanna go. I spent too many nights afraid of failing, too many mornings scared to even try, watching life rush past the window while I kept asking myself why. But every scar became a lesson, every heartbreak shaped my skin, and every road that nearly broke me still taught me how to begin again. I don't want a perfect story, I just want something real enough to feel. A life with bruises, love and laughter, a life that proves I healed. Because someday all the noise will fade and all the lights will disappear. I just hope when I look backwards I can say I truly lived here. I wanna dance under the streetlights, cry hard when my heart breaks too, fall apart and rise up stronger, chase dreams nobody else believed could come true. I wanna love without pretending, speak honestly even when it hurts, and when the final page is turning, know my life was more than words. There were moments I felt hopeless, like the weight was too much to survive. But somehow through the darkest seasons, a stubborn part of me stayed alive. Friends disappeared, plans kept changing, nothing turned out quite like I planned. Still I learned there's beauty hidden inside the things we don't understand. And maybe all the wrong directions led me exactly where I'm meant to stand. Because now I finally see it, life was never meant to be perfect, only live fully while we can. I wanna dance under the streetlights, cry hard when my heart breaks too, fall apart and rise up stronger, chase dreams nobody else believed could come true. I wanna love without pretending, speak honestly even when it hurts, and when the final page is turning, know my life was more than words. One day the years will pass behind me, like headlights fading in the rain, and all the fears that once controlled me won't hold power anymore again. So I'll take every chance that scares me, every risk that makes me grow, because being truly alive means having something real to show. I wanna stand beneath the sunrise, knowing I gave my whole heart away, even through the pain and failures. I refuse to waste my days. I wanna leave behind a memory, not a perfection, not a fame, but of someone who kept on fighting, even when life burst into flames. And when the world grows quiet around me, when the final curtain falls, I hope somebody says with honesty that I truly lived through it all. Morning light spills through the curtains, another chance begins somehow, and for the first time in forever, I'm not afraid of life now. Another crowded train at 7, same gray buildings passing by, everybody moving forward while I keep asking myself myself why I used to think I had direction, some clear vision of who I'd become. Now the years blur together quietly, and I don't know what I'm running from. There's a younger version of me somewhere, still believing anything could change. I see him sometimes in reflections and barely recognize his face. How did life start moving faster while my heart stayed in the same place? Every dream feels farther now the more I try to chase. Sometimes I stop in the middle of the city, watching strangers pass me by, wonder when I started living on the edge of my own life. I keep running in circles, trying hard not to disappear, but the louder the world keeps screaming, the harder it becomes to hear who I was before the pressure, before the fear became routine. Sometimes I stop and stare around me and wonder what this all means. Old friends post perfect photographs now, new homes, weddings, brighter days. While I'm sitting in this tiny apartment, trying to untangle my mistakes. And maybe everybody's faking confidence, maybe no one really knows the way. But some nights the silence grows so heavy, it feels impossible to escape. Still there's something stubborn in my heartbeat, refusing to completely break apart. Like even after all this confusion, hope still survives somewhere in the dark. Sometimes I stop in the middle of the city, watching strangers pass me by, wondering when I started living on the edge of my own life. I keep running in circles, trying hard not to disappear, but the louder the world keeps screaming, the harder it becomes to hear who I was before the pressure, before the fear became routine. Sometimes I stop and stare around me and wonder what this all means. Maybe we were never meant to have everything figured out. Maybe growing older means learning how to live without. And maybe all these wrong directions still lead somewhere worth finding, because even lost hearts keep moving as long as they keep trying. So tonight I'll stop pretending that I'm not afraid sometimes. Stop pretending I'm not searching for something bigger in this life. I may still feel stuck between the person I was and who I'll be, but at least I'm still standing here, still fighting to believe. And maybe one day I'll look backward at all these restless aching years and realize every moment lost was leading me right here. Street lights glow beneath the midnight, cold wind moving through the air, and for a second everything slows down, enough for me to breathe again.
Everybody loves the version of me that laughs a little too loud, but one who keeps the room together when everything's falling down. I learned early how to entertain them, how to hide tears behind a joke, because people love your brightness as long as they never see you broke. So I painted over every heartbreak, turned my sadness into charm, while secretly hoping somebody would notice something's wrong. But applause can feel so empty when nobody knows the truth, and the loneliest kind of silence is smiling while you're bruised. I'm tired of dancing for acceptance, tired of hiding what I feel, tired of pretending I'm unbreakable just to make everyone else comfortable. Because underneath the laughter there's a soul aching to breathe, and maybe if I stop performing, someone might finally see me. Late night staring at the mirror, mascara fading underneath my eyes, wondering when I became somebody who survives through disguise. Every compliment sounds distant now, like echoes bouncing off the walls, because validation means nothing when you don't recognize yourself at all. Or maybe I created this illusion, maybe I taught them what to see, but somewhere underneath the acting there's still a quieter version of me. I'm tired of dancing for acceptance, tired of hiding what I feel, tired of pretending I'm unbreakable just to make everyone else comfortable. Because underneath the laughter there's a soul aching to breathe, and maybe if I stop performing, someone might finally see me. Maybe vulnerability is courage, maybe honesty is strength, maybe people don't need perfection to decide somebody's worth staying for anyway. And if I fall apart in public, if my voice shakes when I speak, at least the person standing there will finally be the real me. So no more smiling through the damage, no more hiding behind the noise, no more shrinking all my sadness to become somebody else's choice. I will let the truth exist now, even if it scares me deep inside, because carrying all this pretending feels heavier than my pride. And if the world sees all my fractures, all the fears beneath my skin, maybe they'll finally understand how hard it's been to keep pretending. Morning light fills up the mirror, no stage lights, no disguise, just a tired soul learning slowly how to finally live honestly. I heard your name across the room tonight, and suddenly the air turned cold. You were laughing
when someone else holds you now. I still remember rainy Sundays, coffee cups and tangled sheets. The way your silence felt like comfort instead of distance. Grow in between. Now I replay old conversations, searching for where things went wrong. Maybe love doesn't disappear instantly. Maybe it lingers far too long. Everybody says that time heals, but time just taught me how to hide, how to smile through all the damage while carrying you inside. Maybe I'm jealous of the mornings that somebody else wakes up beside. Jealous of the way you look at them with the softness once in your eyes. And I know I shouldn't miss you after all we've been through now, but part of me still aches inside, knowing someone else holds you now. I don't wanna own your future. I don't wanna pull you back. I just hate how love can vanish while the memory's still attached. Maybe you're finally happier. Maybe they give you what I couldn't give, but it hurts to know the life I pictured is a life I'll never live. So I'll be jealous of the laughter echoing from your new home. Jealous of the quiet moments when you no longer feel alone. And even if I slowly heal someday, even if the pain fades out somehow, there'll always be a part of me that remembers us somehow. Because loving you changed something deep beneath my skin and soul. And seeing someone else beside you makes me realize I never fully let go. City lights pour through the window. Another sleepless night begins. And somewhere out there you are smiling while I'm learning how to mend. Cold evening rain against the window pane. Streetlights trembling softly in the haze. You sat beside me, wrapped in tired silence, like the whole world had drifted far away. Half-finished coffee on the kitchen table, your weary eyes avoiding all the news. And somehow in that quiet little moment, I realized there was nothing left to prove. No grand explosions, dramatic endings, just two hearts learning how to breathe. Inside the stillness of an ordinary night, you felt like everything to me. So let the city keep on moving, let the chaos blur outside. For one small second in your arms, I finally stopped running from life. Stay here a while beside me. We don't have to say a word. Let the silence tell the story. face, and every tiny imperfect little detail feels like something time can't erase. We don't need fireworks or promises, no perfect future carved in stone, because somehow your quiet presence makes this broken world feel like home. Stay here a while beside me. We don't have to say a word. Let the silence tell the story better than we ever could. If the whole world keeps on spinning, if tomorrow comes too fast, I just want this fleeting moment to feel endless while it lasts. Maybe love was never meant to be loud enough for strangers. Maybe real devotion lies inside the smallest gestures, like the way you pull me closer when the night grows cold and dark, or how your voice can calm the storms inside my restless heart. Stay here a while beside me until the morning fills the sky, until the city wakes around us and another day arrives. Even when the years grow heavier, even when our youth has passed, I will still remember clearly how your heartbeat slowed my past. And if one day we lose everything, every dream we tried to chase, I will still be grateful that I knew your gentle grace. Rain keeps falling in the distance, softly fading with the dawn, but your warmth still lingers near me long after the night is gone. Your name still echoes through the hallway like a song I try to leave behind. Every word we threw in anger still circles through my mind. I gave you every honest piece of me, every fragile hope I had, but love became a battlefield, and we forgot what we once had. Now your messages arrive at midnight, filled with promises and regret, but apologies sound different when they come too late to mend. You only reach for me in silence when the loneliness gets loud, but broken trust is hard to rebuild once it all comes crashing down. It's too late to turn around now, too late to rewrite what we became. You can say you never meant it, but the scars still know your name. I kept holding on to hope, while you kept letting go of us. Now the distance between our hearts feels bigger than our love ever was. I remember driving through the city, trying not to cry beside you. You stared out the window quietly, like you already knew. And maybe we both made mistakes, maybe neither side was clean, but I was fighting for forever while you were halfway leaving me. Now I see your shadow everywhere, and to pull me back again. I spent too many nights rebuilding the parts you couldn't mend. And even though I still remember the way your hand once fit in mine, I know some doors close forever, even when goodbye feels wrong inside. Maybe someday we'll forgive this. Maybe someday pain will fade. But tonight the truth feels heavier than all the words we never said. Rain keeps falling past the window. City lights blur into gold. And somewhere in the quiet distance, we finally let each other go. You walk into every room like thunder. Perfect smile painted carefully on. Everybody sees the polished version, but I can tell something's wrong. Your eyes hold storms you never mention. Quiet wars hidden deep inside. And every joke you throw like armor feels like another place to hide. I know you're tired of pretending, tired of carrying all the weight. Like if people saw the real you, they would slowly walk away. But broken doesn't mean unworthy. Scars don't make a soul less bright. Sometimes the strongest kind of beauty comes from surviving darkest nights. So let me see underneath the armor, underneath the walls you built so high. You don't have to hide your sadness. You don't always have to shine. I don't need perfection from you. I just want the truth you keep inside. Because the heart beneath your silence is already beautiful to me tonight. Maybe somewhere along the way you learned love had conditions attached. So now you carry all your feelings like secrets hidden in the cracks. But I've seen the way your hands tremble when the room gets quiet enough, and how your voice changes slightly whenever life becomes too much. You don't have to keep performing, you don't have to earn your place. Some people stay not for perfection, but for honesty and grace. So let me see underneath the armor, underneath the walls you built so high. You don't have to hide your sadness. You don't always have to shine. I don't need perfection from you. I just want the truth you keep inside. Because the heart beneath your silence is already beautiful to me tonight. Maybe we all wear disguises, trying hard not to break apart. But love begins the moment someone sees beyond the scars. And if your world collapses someday, if the lights all disappear, I'll still be standing in the darkness, just reminding you I'm here. So let me see underneath the armor every fear you try to hide, every sleepless night you carried, every tear you kept inside. You don't have to fight alone now. You don't have to prove your worth, because the soul beneath your sadness still deserves And for the first time in forever, you let somebody see the truth. I learned how to smile in crowded places, laugh on cue when people look my way. Built a version of myself for strangers, while the real one slowly faded away. Every conversation felt rehearsed, every compliment became a disguise, because the truth gets harder to explain when you've hidden it your whole life. Late night staring at the ceiling, wondering who I'm supposed to be, trying to keep all the pieces together before they fall in front of me. We spend so much time pretending that we forget what honesty feels like, but silence grows heavier every day when you keep everything inside. So tonight, I'm dropping all the masks now, letting every hidden scar show through. I'm tired of acting like I'm fearless when I'm barely making it through. Maybe honesty is messy, maybe truth can hurt sometimes, but I would rather break wide open than keep living behind lies. There were days I almost disappeared, lost beneath expectations and doubt, trying to become what everyone wanted, while shutting my real heartbeat out. And every time somebody asked if I was okay, I said fine without thinking twice. Funny how the easiest word to say can hide the deepest kind of fight. Now I'm standing in the ruins of every wall I built too high, and somehow the air feels lighter now. I've stopped trying to hide. So tonight, I'm dropping all the masks now, letting every hidden scar show through. I'm tired of acting like I'm fearless when I'm barely making it through. Maybe honesty is messy, maybe truth can hurt sometimes, but I would rather break wide open than keep living behind lies. Maybe strength was never perfection, maybe courage means being seen, not polished, not untouchable, just painfully human underneath. Because everybody carries secrets, everybody hides some kind of pain, and maybe healing starts the moment we stop running away. So tonight, I'm standing here uncovered, with all my flaws out in the light. No more pretending I'm unbreakable, no more hiding from my life. If my voice shakes while I'm speaking, if my hands can't hold steady now, at least these words are finally honest. At least they all belong to me somehow. And maybe someone else out there feels the same beneath their skin. Maybe truth can pull us closer instead of tearing us apart again. Morning light spills through the window, quiet city waking below, and for the first time in forever, I don't feel alone anymore.
Still remember those late night drives, windows down under city lights, talking like we had forever, like nothing could divide our lives. You were the kind of soul that lifted every room you walked
often too. Even silence felt less heavy whenever I was next to you. Now your old voice notes play like echoes through the quiet of my phone. And some days it still feels impossible learning how to stand alone. People say time keeps moving forward, but memories don't disappear. Some hearts leave marks so permanent, you still feel them years later here. So until our roads cross again someday, I'll carry your name through every mile. Every laugh, every scar, every moment still lives somewhere inside. And even though the world keeps changing, even though life pulled us apart, you'll always be a piece of my story, a permanent beat inside my heart. There are nights I catch myself smiling at jokes nobody else would know. Tiny moments hidden in my memory, like old film scenes playing slow. We used to dream about the future, about the people we would become. Funny how life keeps rewriting plans before we even see what comes. Still, I'm grateful for the years we shared, for every reckless, beautiful night, because some connections don't fade away, even when they leave your side. So until our roads cross again someday, I'll carry your name through every mile. Every laugh, every scar, every moment still lives somewhere inside. And even though the world keeps changing, even though life pulled us apart, you'll always be a piece of my story, a permanent beat inside my heart. Maybe goodbye isn't forever, maybe distance isn't the end. Maybe the people who change us deeply stay with us long after they've left. And when I look up at the night sky, searching through the endless blue, I like to think somewhere beyond it, there's still a part of me with you. So until our roads cross again someday, I'll keep living loud for both of us. Keep chasing dreams we once imagined, even when the road gets rough. And every sunrise, every new beginning will carry traces of your life, because the love we leave in others never truly says goodbye. No matter where this life may lead me, no matter how much time moves on, part of you will walk beside me in every place I go from now on. Morning breaks across the highway, soft gold spilling through the rain. And somewhere deep beyond the silence, I know we'll meet again. Small town streets and broken streetlights, dreams too big for these narrow roads. Everybody said be realistic, but we were born with restless souls. Late night sitting on the rooftop, talking like the world was ours, drawing futures in the skyline underneath the passing cars. We were tired of living quietly, tired of shrinking who we are, so we lit sparks inside the darkness and called it our rebellion heart. Maybe we were never made to fit inside their expectations. Maybe some souls are born to chase impossible directions. We were never meant to follow, never built to stay confined. We were running toward the unknown, leaving fear far behind. Every scar became a reason, every failure taught us how to keep standing through the chaos and keep believing somehow. People laughed at all our visions, said the world would break us down, but they never saw the fire burning underneath us now. There were nights we almost lost it, moments hope felt paper thin. Still we carried one another through the storms we lived within. Maybe we don't have the answers, maybe we still feel afraid, but at least we chose to live fully instead of fading away. We were never meant to follow, never built to stay confined. We were running toward the unknown, leaving fear far behind. Every scar became a reason, every failure taught us how to keep standing through the chaos and keep believing somehow. One day they'll say we were reckless, too stubborn to play it safe. But I'd rather lose while chasing freedom than spend my whole life afraid. Because the people who change the world rarely start out understood. They just keep moving through the resistance until the impossible turns good. We were never meant to follow, we were born to break the mold, born to fight for something bigger than comfort bought and sold. And even when the road gets darker, even when our strength runs low, we'll keep carrying this fire anywhere we go, because freedom lives inside us, not inside somebody's rules. And every heart that dares to dream loudly becomes impossible to lose. Morning rises over the skyline, golden light across the streets. And for the first time in forever, we finally feel free. You walked in wearing tired eyes again, like sleep had been avoiding you for days. Your hands kept shaking slightly at the table, but you smiled and tried to hide it anyway. I asked you how you'd really been feeling. You laughed it off and changed the subject fast, like pain becomes much easier to carry when nobody looks long enough to ask. Outside the rain kept falling without mercy, cars move slowly underneath the gray, and somewhere in the middle of our silence, I realized you were slipping far away. Sometimes the loudest cries for help are hidden underneath the whisper. Sometimes a heart breaks quietly before anyone can hear it. Tell me what's beneath the surface, tell me what you're running from. You don't have to keep pretending, you don't have to face it alone. If the weight becomes too heavy, if the darkness pulls you down, I'll stay until the morning. I won't leave you here to drown. You said the world feels colder every year now, like everyone is learning not to care. And every crowded room just makes you lonelier, because nobody sees you standing there. I wish I knew the perfect words to save you. Some the doubt. Tell me what's beneath the surface. Tell me what you're running from. You don't have to keep pretending. You don't have to face it alone. If the weight becomes too heavy, if the darkness pulls you down, I'll stay until the morning. I won't leave you here to drown. Maybe healing is an instant. Maybe scars don't disappear. Maybe saving someone's life means reminding them you're here. Not with perfect words or answers, not by fixing every pain, but by standing in the storm beside them until they can breathe again. Tell me every fear you carry, every memory you hide, every sleepless night you've suffered, every tear you keep inside. And if all feels far behind you, like a light you cannot find, take my hand through all the darkness until you remember your life. Because even broken people still deserve a chance to heal. And even tired hearts can recover when somebody stays for real. Morning slowly touched the windows, rain light fading into gold. And for a moment in the silence, you didn't seem so alone. There's an old photograph above my desk, your smile frozen somewhere in the past. Some days I still stop and stare at it, like if I wait long enough, you'll come back. Life kept moving after you were gone, even when I begged the world to pause. I learned how to hide my breaking heart behind everyday applause. And there were nights I nearly gave up, felt too tired to keep holding on, but your voice still echoed in my memory every time the dark felt strong. You always said the storms would pass, even when the sky looked hopeless. Now I carry those words like fire through every lonely moment. If you could see me now, standing stronger than before, after all the nights I spent face down on the floor. If you could see me now, you know your love still lives in me. Every lesson, every sacrifice became the strength I needed to breathe. And though the world kept changing and time pulled us apart somehow, I still live every day hoping you'd be proud of me now. I still remember all the little moments, late night talks inside the car, the way you believed in my future before I knew who I was. People think that healing happens quickly, like grief fades neatly over time, but some losses settle in your bloodstream and never fully leave your mind. Still I learned how to keep going, how to carry pain without collapse. And every step I take forward now feels connected to imagine. And time pulled us apart somehow. I still live every day hoping you'd be proud of me now. Maybe the people that we lose never really disappear. Maybe they survive inside us, in every hope and every fear. And when life feels overwhelming, I still hear your steady voice telling me to keep on fighting, telling me I have a choice. If you could see me now, you would recognize my eyes, still carrying the same young dreamer, trying hard to survive. If you could see me now, you know I finally understand. Strength was never being fearless, it was learning how to stand. And even if I miss you daily, even if the ache remains, I will keep becoming someone who brings meaning to your name. Because your love became the reason I survived somehow. And every road I walk from here is for you to see me now. Morning sunlight fills the hallway, dust dancing softly in gold. And for a second I can almost hear you saying I did well.